That's my version.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ryan.
Raise your candles. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Scoot.
Happy birthday to you.
Scoot, blow
Blow 'em out.
out the candle, Scoot.
Blow out the screen.
Oh!
Hey.
I was
Happy
wondering
real
if
birthday. That is our DM's real birthday, by the way, guys. She's not. We're not. This is not a prank. It's actually his birthday.
That would
I
have
mean,
been
it is a
brilliant, though.
prank, but it's also
Ooh.
Also,
An unbirthday. We could have had an unbirthday party.
That would have been even more baffling. Like, you fucks know, my birthday is not until 2 sessions from now, right? Oh yes, we know.
Yeah. And
Well, thank you, Gaffers. I appreciate that. I was wondering what you were going to do for this most auspicious day of my birth. But welcome, everyone. And while that was very surprising and I had no idea that was coming, I have another surprise up my sleeve. A bamboozle has been done in our history of bamboozlement. And this time, it's Randall who has been bamboozled.
No! Damn it! I was like, what's the question? And I was like, okay, I got the answer already.
Yeah, you remember that really long pause
Yeah.
after you asked Scoot what the question was? Because he mostly just forgot.
I
It
will
all makes
go
sense
first,
now.
if I may.
Mhm.
So I picked a word and a question mark for Randall. The first word I picked is compassionate, and the second, the plus question mark requires some explanation, rather. I'm
All the
drawing-
punctuation.
I'm drawing on something that Randall will appreciate, which is a line from one of my favorite poems by Jack Gilbert. How astonishing it is that language can mean, and how frightening that it does not quite. And I don't entirely have a word for. You are the kind of person who makes other people feel safe talking to you about a variety of things because you know yourself and your limits and your boundaries well enough that no one ever feels like they're going to infringe upon you without you being able to respond about it. And I think that is something you have worked on a lot, and I want you to know that we see it.
Thank you.
Also, you're really compassionate.
I'm gonna go next because I still have words on my screen. Put them over my face. I went with determined and reliable, both of which I think are true. And in particular, what I wanted to highlight more in the realm of gameplay, since that's the primary way that I interact with Randall and love him. But I feel like he is possibly, inarguably, the best of us at playing to his actual character. Playing to his own character's motivations and desires and weaving them into the story more strongly than I think I've ever seen before. And that kind of, I don't know, intentionality, I guess, really shines through, and I really appreciate it, and it's really good.
Thank you.
I'll go next. My words, I chose unique and creative. I don't think I've ever met anybody quite like Randall, and he has to be one of the most devoted to characters of people I've met, and each one is so unique in the best ways, and there's a certain flair that makes the characters like really come alive. I even drew like Big B's hand right here
Oh!
for Star. So I really
Baby,
get
study the
excited
fan.
when there's a guest appearance, and I feel like Randall, you have a way of just like lightening the mood and really bringing people up. And also, you, I think, come up with most of our ideas to prank Scoot with. So
Tell him I'm the angel child. What are you talking about?
I should have known.
Yes, all the blame goes to Kate, all of it.
She's tough. She can take it.
That's really going to kind of shade my answer then, because mine was simply.
He's just gonna tear his sheet. He's just tearing his sheet of paper into pieces
Perfect,
now.
flawless, we'll cross those right out.
Yeah. I drew a heart because, quite frankly, like, I love Randall so much. I remember when Kate we were looking for another player in a campaign not long ago, and she's like, "How about my friend Randall?" I'm like, "Okay." I had never met Randall before, and that was probably the first game where I realized what it was like to have a player that I actually did what I wanted them to do and followed the plot hooks without having to throw a cat at it. Because before that, every game I ever had was wrangling cats and trying to sort of
I know what
reverse
you're talking about.
and trying to
We're
reverse.
angels.
You're not. And trying to reverse psychology them into going to the plot hooks or just having to do so much on the fly. So the first time Randall was like, all right, well, what's the plan? And I'm like, wait, someone's planning. That's the one thing I didn't plan for, was that they were actually going to be fucking organized about this. But I do appreciate Randall.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I also remember that Kate said, because I was thinking up Satara, right? And I was like, ooh, this could be like this glitter mage, like, you know, this person was like assigned male at birth, but it's like very high femme, half elf, and loves all things like illusion and like showmanship and stuff. And I remember she said, you were like, what am I supposed to do with that? Because I'm like doing a campaign set in a whorehouse, like, and then and then Satara entered. And
what can't you do with that is the question.
Yeah, honestly.
We did so much with that.
Oh, well, thank you. That really, really made my evening. And it's a lovely, you know, denouement for the year into, you know, getting into the new year and stuff like that. And, you know, it's funny. I'll just say one thing about the intentionality. I get out of my character's way. Those moments when you're like, wow, like, I'm like, I just step aside and this, it's the closest thing I've heard is what, like, people who are acting. Like, and I've only had, like, one drama class in my whole life. I just am like, oh, I did not know. Oh, I did not know that they were going to do or say that. Like,
I think you took a lot of lessons from Satara.
Yes, that's true. Well, thank you all.
Okay. Well, now that we have all the good feels out of the way, let's head back to Ryan.
Roxwall.
Roxwall. Everyone does. As we
had fun doing it.
Yep. As we rejoin the Gaffers, after some of them had a bit of a holiday break. They went to Ethos. We had some times in Ethos. We had some people had certain feelings about Ethos. And in the interims, we did some puppy sitting. That's we did as a gift for Rob that session, so he'll be able to get to listen to that, but only he alone. That's our gift to him, one of them. But you folks, some things have been happening in the RP channels, especially with Allie, as we ended last time with an old friend returning to the temple.
Still here.
Yep. As Neva, or as most of you knew her, ma'am, has returned as the World Tree has assigned her to begin to hunt down this druid.
Should we do a recap of the RP just to get everybody on the same page?
Sure.
I can recap it. Basically, Neva has been sent by the World Tree, for whom she now fights as a champion, to come and help out with this hunting down of the druid, because the druid is of nature and the World Tree's like, bitch, you can't represent me, get the fuck out. We also found some artifacts with that group that we fought the other week, the big old bros. We found a map and we found a talisman. Now, the talisman looks like the kind that, like, insta-yeets you to Sigretti, and so we haven't touched that yet, because that's probably not a good thing to touch yet, but eventually we probably will. We're dumb like that. And then the book that we found has maps in it of areas in the Feywilds. So Neva was asked to take a look at it and try and identify it. Well, not just the Feywilds, all over the place. I see Scoop making a face at me.
No, it was the map. It was maps of Valhita, not the Feywilds.
Oh, sorry. I thought the paths.
The druid had paths, your paths, Neva's paths down, but that book you found was written by the rogue, and it was maps of Valhita.
Right. No, sorry. I'm referring to the other book.
Right. You are correct.
Yeah. Yes. And so Neva took a look at that book and realized those are my paths, and some of them are her old punting paths, but some of them are things that she's done very, very recently, routes she's taken. And long story short, it turns out that after some interrogation, that the druid has been tracking her through the power of the World Tree that flows through her. Neva is not too happy about most because he wants to steal that power for himself. After some consultation with Warlord Planestrider, Allie, Tessa, and Neva basically just baited him to look at them in the mirror, and then just spent a very large amount of time insulting him to provoke him to anger. It worked really well. We got him real mad. So mad. It was
His fragile
great.
ego just crumbled.
It was very enjoyable. Also very cathartic, I think, for Deb and I to just like slay insults at this shit for a while. Anyway, we've provoked him and we've irritated him, and I assume Scoot's going to tell us what the outcome of that provocation and irritation is going to involve.
Oh, I will. As I don't think there's anything else we need to recap, so we will rejoin the two ladies, particularly Allie and Tessa, at the temple as, Thrax has gotten better since his kidnapping, and Bosco is still milking that shit for all it's worth. Because that's just a thing Bosco is going to do. So he... Actually, Tessa, you notice that he has a cast on. You did not put a cast on him. He just seems to have... I
kind of give him a look like, really? We're doing this?
He looks up at you like he's never eaten a day in his life, and he's so weak.
I hand him a slice of bacon.
Here's the real question. Has anyone signed the cast?
Yeah, a bunch of people have.
Oh my god.
Signed the cast.
No, like...
It's such a small cast!
Carl signed it, a bunch of the guards have signed it, the geckos have signed it.
You know what?
It has one of those...
I'm gonna let this go on.
You know those pens that you got in like middle school that have like a little like pull out like picture on them or something like that? It's like that for his extra signing space because it's this little tiny doggy arm.
Tiny dog. But yes, but as time rolls on, a bit of trouble starts to kick up as you hear of an odd thing as messengers from the house, the Federation of Houses. One moment. The Federation of Houses, Thunderblade, a whole bunch of other people word comes in that there's been a lot of odd activity amongst wooded areas and areas that are known to harbor the Fae, the gates that are there that are kind of allowed to be there because they've always been there. They've become very active, which has become a big concern for most of the people of the world, because why is this happening?
Just for reference, are these gates the kind that are guarded on both ends? Or are supposed to be guarded on both ends?
You're not sure. There's no exact location of these things. There's just a lot of activity where the gates are known.
Wouldn't even know if these gates are supposed to be guarded on both ends.
If there is any gate that is sanctioned, quote unquote, by like nature, it should be guarded on both ends.
Okay. Do the folks who are sending in reports about this, talk about how they identified it? Like, did their normal guards notice something going wrong, or did just random other people notice there's Fae gate activity over here?
Random people are noticing there's a lot more natural energy flowing around in specific areas.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Those sound like unsanctioned gates, and we don't like those very much.
No. But yeah, so what would you folks like to do with this information?
We do anything with this information.
Yeah, be stressed, I guess.
Be
roll
worried.
for stress, Nikki. Roll for stress. Roll a d20. That's how stressed you are. First roll the night.
Alright. Excellent. I'm not even fucking signed in because I'm a disaster after 2 weeks off. Just a mess.
Disaster wizard.
I mean, accurate. Have you seen my Paragon class?
I have. I'm looking at something in the rule on it, actually. Wow, you're real fucking stressed about this as
it's a nat 1.
It's a nat 1. As actually, Nikki, something that you feel is that the weave and the arcane flow is getting disrupted by this. There's a huge burst of natural energy, which is a different type of energy from the flow of the arcane.
It's fucking with the weave.
Yeah, and it's not like destroying it, but like the weave is shifting differently than it normally does.
Okay. Is Neva the like primary representative of nature here right now?
Sure.
Great. Mostly Nikki is like stressed out and wants to talk to Neva about magic stuff anyways. But also Nikki is like almost certainly at this point the foremost living expert on fucking with the weave and surviving to talk about it. It's literally the point of her whole Paragon class. So, this is immediately terrible. Basically every spell that I cast fucks with the weave a little bit now, so I would notice this like literally first thing in the morning when I mage hand my toothbrush over to myself.
Yeah, like the hand is weaker slightly.
Yeah. So I'll go talk to Neva and be like, hey, the weave's fucked up.
Yep, so you head to the
it's bad
temple
and
where Neva
relay all
is. Yep.
This. Yeah.
You're just explaining that the weave is fucked up?
Yeah, and like, do you have any ideas if there's anything we can do, should do?
Uh,
You're the only person I know outside of the university who's done any, meaningful novel magical research
do you
recently.
know, because we made a book that may or may not be supposed to be existing together. Do you know where the kind of disruption is coming from? Can you feel that part, or do you want me to search for it?
I'm gonna like spin around and like cast a couple cantrips. Is there any sort of distance, or is this sort of pervasive?
Pervasive things are happening at random.
Okay.
And again, it's not stopping your magic, but it's
Fucking with it.
it's making it harder. It's
It
like
just feels
moving
wrong.
it's moving
I'm doing
in
like
water.
somatic components, and like my finger, like I have to go a little bit different angle than I'm used to. Like,
Yeah, or you have to put more effort into it for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, doesn't seem like there's a sort of directional aspect to it. At least not that I can detect.
Okay. Is Neva able to kind of sense any directionality to it?
Make a nature check. Nature check. Critical.
I crit.
It's for you. It's not like there's a disturbance somewhere. It's that like in the balance of the forces of the world, there's just a lot more natural magic coming in general. It's not enough to really fuck with a whole lot at the moment, but like something is up, like something is wrong.
So magic has to enter from somewhere. It doesn't just nebulously exist. It's energy. So is it flowing? Is it potentially flowing in through those areas of increased activity?
That would be your assumption, because like there is a like much like there's background radiation, there's background magic, and there is a
Right.
certain amount of like natural forces kind of there all the time.
Right.
But if something's fucking with the sort of flow and balance of everything, more has either it's because this power source is being pulled away or pushed in.
Okay. Then that's what I'd suggest to Nikki, that like what seems to be happening isn't so much that it's inhibiting your magic, it's just that there's more nature than arcane here right now, which as much as it feels great to me is not how this plane is supposed to work. I suspect that those points of increased activity that we've heard about from Ventus, from the Federations, from the Isles is where that natural magic is entering, or where arcane magic is draining. I'm inclined to think Scoot, can I get a sense of, does it feel more like there's excess nature magic or inadequate arcane?
There is excess nature magic.
Okay. It feels more like something's pushing nature energy into this plane, which is concerning on this plane because of how many of you are arcane users, and concerning for whatever plane they're pulling all that natural magic from. That doesn't come from nowhere. That has to come from somewhere. I suspect Feywilds or Everwilds as the most likely sources. I think we might need to go investigate at least one of those, if not more.
Okay.
Always up for vacation.
Make a nature check, and then make me a survival check, please.
That is a 28 nature check. Yeah, I'm going to spend a point of inspiration on that. And a 16 survival.
Okay. So, sitting there kind of feeling around the nub, you feel sort of like a slow... It feels like lava. If you've seen lava rolling, like when it's cooler towards like the bottom of the volcano, it feels like that, but with natural magic. up in the Pentagram Range to the north of you, of the north where the temple is. There's a big push of it in like the middle of this range of mountains.
Part of it trying to roll down the mountains towards us.
Yeah, like this seems to be a point where like it seems to be emanating from. It's not huge, but rolling off of your crit and that, yeah, it's the nearest point.
Okay.
You said it's like kind of slow, ponderous, chunky.
Yeah, this is not an avalanche.
It's not an avalanche.
Yeah.
It's
more than Pahoehoe.
proceeding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe it exactly. It's creeping. Creeping feels like the best word right now.
Mm-hmm. Make me an insight check, Neva.
$27.
So feeling this, kind of considering all of this, one thing Neva, as you look up the mountain range, because this is the range of mountains like the temple and Nikki's mines are built into. Something that you kind of figure is that you going is like Neva going is going to be a huge beacon to whatever is up there doing this. Mm-hmm. But more or less, somebody's going to have to go up there to kind of check this out because it's the only way to figure out what's going on. But if you go up there, you're going to be a bright light in a dark place. People are going to notice you.
Would us sort of normal nub inhabitants be able to make it in there more readily? Probably.
None of you are overly attuned to nature, so you would probably be better off.
Yeah.
Alan's got a little bit of it, but so much less than Neva that, like, it's kind of like when you look at the sun, you accidentally get blinded and you can't, like, see a lamp next to you for a little while. So, like, Neva is bright enough to kind of blot that out a little bit, at least. Mm-hmm. Is there a way for you to communicate back to me so that I can give you, insight advice as you're going? Sending message.
Sure.
I can send you an animal.
Initially? I thought Neva got one of the slap chats.
She gave it back to you guys when she left.
Oh, okay. Probably give it to Allie then.
Yeah.
Got sending though.
Yeah. If you can sending her, she'll be able to kind of advise and guide from a distance.
Yeah.
So, into the peaks, folks. Into the high ridges.
Let's get
the
at
ones
it.
in the middle of the map?
Yes.
Like right there?
Yeah.
So they are to the north of where you are.
Okay.
How are you folks getting up there? I know a lot of you can fly. Are you going to go with the sky?
So that does sound nice, but it also sounds potentially dangerous and highly visible.
Fair enough. We could trek up there. There's hiking trails.
I was thinking maybe mountain gack.
Gacks do climb vertically. Yeah.
Or Tig's gack.
I can note. Scoot came up with a thing, and it's been retconned into being an actual thing. Y'all remember Apples? Neva's very dumb gack? Yes. He's a baby Tarrasque.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wonderful. Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
They say like the original like gack, where apples originated from. They're like, this gack looks kind of weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Weird gack.
This is a weird gack.
I like the thought of Apples was a Tarrasque raised by Gax or something like that.
Yes,
He thinks functionally what it is, yeah. He thinks he's a
Isn't
gack.
that comic
He's
about
dumb
like
enough
the
to think
dragon
he's a gack,
raised by like
but
I think
he's a Tarrasque.
chickens or something like that?
Yep, so you folks get a bunch of gacks and you head up into the mountains. I would like everyone to make me everyone who's heading up there a perception or investigation check, please.
I'm writing good old
perception.
Sunnyvale.
I'm gonna get a 12, which is on point.
I have crit again.
Which is also
I
on
rolled
point.
a 38 on my perception.
Oh my god.
Happy birthday to you.
It is my birthday.
Dirty
29 investigation for Kiki.
Okay,
Damn,
Thrax crit as well. So Tessa, man, it's really nice up here. God, this is some good air. You could probably get some good training in these mountains.
We should do this more often. We should
come back here later.
Tessa just group in. She's got a little hiking song.
She's munching on granola.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah. Everyone else, though, because I think Rob is the lowest at 20, and that there were 2 crits. So as you move up there, you hear steady thuds and rocks moving. And as you crest, luckily the Gax, the reason, the Doshi like them in a lot of kind of mountaineer ranges because they climb up verticals. They can get up these slopes much like goats do. So you kind of move over a hill, and you see in one of the low valleys several earthen elementals just kind of like up and moving around. And there is this big rift at the very bottom of this gully where they seem to be crawling out of. And they're not really doing much, they're just kind of like around. And they just seem to be kind of meandering, stretching. Once in a while they pick up, they mold into the side of the mountain and kind of mold back. But they're just there, and like that's a lot more elementals than have ever been recorded in these mountains, Nikki. Like, there are always some, but that's a lot more, and some of them look quite powerful.
Okay, yeah.
Elementals,
Remote mountains
like evil
make
aliens?
sense, but
No, just earth elementals,
Just
it seems.
Neutral.
Yeah, they just...
Do they look like the ones? Like, do they look like they've come through from outside of Haven, or no? These are not those ones.
These are not those. These are just... There's a variety of them, and there's a lot of different... They're made of a lot of different types of stone, which usually if whatever an earth elemental will be made of whatever rock and earth is native to the area that it came into being. There is like a brimstone one. And like... That shouldn't... There's no brimstone. That shouldn't be coming out of that crack then. And like there's granite and like... There's one with coral on it. Well, there's one with coral on it, and you're like, it came out of a mountain. That shouldn't be. Like, that's weird.
Coral. That kills people, Coral.
Wow.
Alright, so we got fucky elementals. Any fucking elementals?
No.
I imagine that's not really something they do.
No. I mean, you do see one of them, like, picks up a rock and tries it on for a head, and then puts it back down and puts his other one back.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Alright, well this is indicative of fuckiness, but we knew that there was fuckiness. Clearly on the right track, follow where the monsters are spawning from.
Does it look like the elementals like want to be here, or are they lounging around? Like, do they have a purpose, or are they just sort of like,
They
how the
just
fuck
get
did
off
we
the
get here?
cruise
Yeah.
to the mortal
Yeah.
realm. Like,
Yeah. Are they like colonizers, or are they like,
Insight,
Just like
please.
sheep that went through a portal, like, hey, I'm here now.
insight? Not my best.
can I
Insight checks,
try
please.
it? Okay.
I'm gonna
Is
do
that
That's what I'm calling for. If you got another check, feel free.
13.
Nice.
Okay.
Can I do investigation?
5.
24
Oh, I can
plus
see
Wow.
Looking for a way to swindle an Arcana check out of you.
Gonna
Pretty
be
much.
This kind of night, folks.
Yeah. So I'll do that before we call for the checks. For this one, like, they're just sort of meandering around. It looks like they've come through this rift that's in the ground. And Thrax from his Horizon Walker would tell you, like, that goes to the elemental plane of Earth. Like, that is directly connected to that. But they don't seem to be, like, agitated. They're sort of like, whoa, here's a place. As if, like, a door has opened and now they're kind of coming through. But they don't look like they're not angry. They're not forming up into a horde or anything. And they're trickling out. They're not rushing through like they intended, like literally avalanche towards the temple or the town. They're just sort of out. And some of them seem a bit more cognizant than the others. Some of them are definitely just sort of like it's a cow or a sheep got out of a pen, and they're like, "Oh, there's rocks over here, cool," and they kind of wander over. And some of them,
Talk to them?
That's
Allie
exactly what Kiki.
yeah.
the sun and moon. So we can, say like hello and how'd you come to be here, and did you
So
want
you
to
want to
be
go
here?
down and talk to them
I would
because
like to
right
talk.
now you're in a like upper safe place where they cannot notice you. So Allie wants to go down and talk to them.
Do
We
you
should
want
just talk to
backup?
them.
Yeah, no, I'd like all of us to go and talk to them, but like let's very intentionally like walk like we are hiking through the mountains, not showing weapons all over the place, just walking.
Okay. So who's going down to talk to them? Everybody, or
I think everybody.
okay, everybody heads down.
Unless she wants some long distance shooters or something, I guess yes. Well, I'll go.
I feel like Nikki would set up a mage sniper nest, but she would like put down like a comforter and a picnic blanket, and like it'd be very
Absolutely accurate.
like a couch.
I want to like. Can I pull some of the cast love nest gather some of the comfy pillows?
Yeah.
And then set up like a sniper perch. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you doing that?
I'm doing that.
Okay.
Why not?
So as you go down there, Allie, one of the
what level is love nest? Is it worth it for the joke?
It's a too high. That'd be a Deb question. But Allie, so
Third
one
or
of the
fourth level spell.
Fourth?
Yeah, let's say fourth.
I think I will not burn fourth for the joke.
Let's say it's third.
coward.
I'll burn third for the joke.
Let's
Okay.
say it's a third. I'm gonna write that down in my notebook so I remember.
But Allie, so one of the kind of smaller ones, probably about the size of like a dwarf, comes rolling up to you, and it just stops short, and it's just sort of looking up at you like, whoa.
I'll say hello.
Ears.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you have a name you'd like to go by?
Bert.
Nice to meet you, Bert. I'm Allie.
Hey. And it's like, you guys, it doesn't have a face, but it's just sort of like staring up at Allie. And you don't hear any of this. It's just here.
Well, I mean, they'll hear it. They won't understand it, though.
Yeah, you hear Allie
Well, no,
talking
they will.
normally.
Yes, they will. They'll understand my half of the conversation.
Yeah, you hear Allie talking normally, but you just hear, she goes, "Oh, Bert, cool," and it's silently staring at her.
How did you come to be here?
Skyhole.
Do you guys know where here is?
No.
Oh, you're on the mortal plane in Ryam in the Free Peaks. We're in a mountain range here.
It just stares blankly at you.
Did you want to come here?
It reaches down into the dirt and kind of shoves it into its face. And continues to stare at you.
Do you want to stay here?
Looks around. Eh.
It is a nice area.
Make an insight check, Allie.
$36.
You think this may not be one of the more cognizant ones?
Yeah, no, I'm getting that.
Yeah.
Can you introduce us to some of your friends?
Oh, yeah. And it reaches up to take your hand.
I'll take his hand.
Okay, make me a strength check, please.
Good.
Oh my.
Nope.
5. Well, it rolled a 20, so it starts to unknowingly crush it.
Oh, little less hard, please. I'm not made of rock.
Ugh. Coral? Sponge? Mud?
Sponge is closer.
Huh. And then it takes your hand and kind of puts it on its, like, a head.
I will kind of scratch his head as we're walking.
It is rock. And dirt.
Right.
They do kind of grab you, and they don't grasp you as hard because they realize, like, oh, you're fragile like granite can be.
Yep.
And they take you to a very large elemental that's probably the size of a fire giant.
As we're walking, Allie is explaining this very briefly via Slap chat to everybody. His name's Bert. He's not the brightest. He's taking us to one of the smart ones.
Cool. Take your word for it.
Yeah. So again, this one's about the size of a fire giant. As it wheels around and looks down at you, and you see it take off its head and puts it down, so it's more at eye level with you.
Thank you. That was very kind.
And Bert just kind of like walks over and hops on its head. Just kind of sits there.
I'm Allie. This
Hello.
is Tessa and Nikki and Kiki. Nice to meet you.
My name is. Oh, you can speak with us.
Well, I can. I'll have to translate a bit for them.
And what are you made out of?
Meat, I guess.
I'm sorry.
We are a little more we saw that you'd come through that rift there.
Mm-hmm.
Was that something that you asked to come through, or it just appeared and you decided to?
Well, it had appeared, and we decided to come through. Well, some of us did. Some of them just came. Yeah, he kind of looks. You know, the hand goes to where Bert is and picks Bert up, and then puts Bert on the ground.
Bert seemed very nice.
Bert tries.
We all have those friends. Was there anything that you in particular that you came here for, or just there was an opening and you chose to go through it?
Oh no, we made a deal with a meat being, but with big long horns on the head.
What kind of deal did you make with this man?
He wanted dust of some kind, which we had, and we decided to, he said he would open a way for us here, and we decided to come.
Okay. This particular area doesn't have people who live in it already, but there are a lot of other areas around here where other beings do live. It's kind of their space. And
Well, we won't have to worry about that for very long.
why is that?
Well, we're going to expand the mountain range.
Well, that would be ruining the places where they already live.
Yeah. Sucks to be them.
Well, nobody came into your land and started taking it from you. That doesn't seem quite fair.
But we have to keep the earth building to make it strong. Mountains should be bigger and be everywhere.
Is it possible to make the earth strong in ways other than just building mountains?
Why would you want to?
Well, other things need to live too.
Do you have tunnels?
Not all things can live on mountains.
Do you have tunnels we can cave in?
Actually, there are some places where you could cave in some tunnels. My family lives under a mountain, and there are some tunnels below it that are rather dangerous. Someone who knows their way around tunnels and how to manipulate them might be useful. There probably are ways for you to live here without conflict.
I
But-
like conflict.
Yes, that's fine, but we don't.
Insight checks to anyone who likes it, who would like to.
Gonna be
I have a
funny.
meta question. Wow.
Yes.
Um,
11.
doesn't Neva work? Is she part of the Golden Legion?
No.
Nope.
Oh, she's not. Okay. Because I'm thinking like this counts as like an interdimensional 18.
Oh, this does. Yeah, this would be a breach potentially.
It's- Yeah, like you just
Insight for me.
God. There's somebody else who might also be interested in what's happening here.
Robert, from kind of listening on the Snapchat, it just sounds like the elemental, and Kiki, you'll pick up on this too, like, there's not a lot of malice. Like, this is not like we're conquering land. This is like, no, mountains are good. We're going to make more mountains. Like, this is just part of their deal as elementals, and some base kind of urge they probably have in the same way that, like, it's sort of why the elemental planes are separate from the mortal plane, because, like, if a bunch of fire elementals got here, they might want to burn a whole bunch of shit because that's just their bag. This seems to be one that's interested in, like, expanding the mountain range, because mountains are good, and there should be more mountains.
so like the old saying, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, there's going to be more mountains, and this probably from actually giving the insight check to Nikki on this with a 26. These elementals probably aren't real keen on civilization in general, so mountains equal better than towns and cities.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll
Ali
share that.
specifically
These don't
said-
seem like.
Allie did specifically say beings because she wanted to make it clear that it's not just people that would be effective, but like animals that live in the area that can't necessarily live on mountainous terrain.
this one
Sounds like
doesn't
they should
seem
be better animals then, says the elemental.
Yeah, this one doesn't seem to really like. It doesn't get why. Like, it doesn't seem to get it.
Is there any particular reason it has to be this area that you changed the mountains in?
Well, we're here. This is where the rift
Yes.
is.
But you could also go back through the rift.
Kiki nudges you for a second, nudges Neva, and so like,
Allie.
sorry. Oh, Allie's talking now.
Allie's
Sorry.
talking to him,
This is
yeah.
Allie the whole time.
Sorry. I got
Neva got left behind. She's
Allie.
too powerful.
Yeah. Sorry.
Naturedly.
Allie. So Kiki would be. Kiki wants to like ask him who the man was. Like she's very curious about this.
Oh,
Like-
Allie would have explained it was the druid. Like for this last
motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
why he's trying to be like polite here, because clearly they like what he did for them, and I would like to not antagonize them if we can avoid it and fully put them on his side.
Got it. Okay.
So Allie had suggested that you could go back through the rift and build mountains there.
But there needs to be more mountains here, and he like gestures around because he can see where there are not mountains.
Kiki will suggest saying, if you're translating, through Slapchat, that like, but don't mountains need to be everywhere? So isn't one place as good as another?
Allie will give it a shot.
That's a very good point. I suppose we can make more mountains anywhere, but we will make more mountains.
Reasonable.
Make an insight check.
28.
Okay, Allie,
16.
with that, like, the way you're heading through from Kiki's suggestion, the being was agreeable, but all you're doing is they're gonna execute this plan somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The plan is not changing. They don't really seem to mind where. And then
Right.
also, you think that perhaps this particular Earth Elemental was chosen for a reason.
for its
The
stubbornness.
Druid cut a deal with this one.
Could I ask a bit more about that dust that you gave the man with the horns?
Sure. Do you want some?
I'm not sure what it is exactly.
Oh, it makes soft hard.
Makes soft hard. Soft like us. Soft like ground. Soft like.
I'll show you.
Water?
And you watch them grind up a little bit of like a digit and onto Tessa, and Tessa. It's as if stone form was cast on Tessa, as she is now rock. Like her skin
No.
is stone.
Kiki's like, no. Undo,
It
please.
will not last long, and it runs for about however, like stone skin runs, like the spell, and then Tessa returns to normal.
That was unpleasant.
Please give us a heads up if you're going to do that for next time.
Oh,
That was somewhat surprising for our soft forms.
sorry.
Thank you. And Allie will convey to Tessa that he apologized. Because that seems like the right thing to do.
Tessa is concerned.
I'm somewhat concerned about this druid. He's hurt us in the past. And I'm worried that he might mean to hurt us with the kind of strength and power that you can give him with that ability. Did he sound like he intended to cause harm?
He intended to bring back the natural world as it should be.
Did he intend to bring it back everywhere?
That's what he said.
Hmm.
And he gave us first shot at claiming this area.
Did he
So-
ask you to do anything else?
Just make more mountains.
Kiki will suggest, like, do we want to cast aspersion on the druid's character? Like, the druid is disingenuous and not a good deal maker. And then,
Like, it wasn't his land to give.
right, and also just,
Not so much, but I think so Allie wants to. So actually, Allie wouldn't be able to do this unless one of you told her. But if one of you told her that, like, he had been thrown out of the hunt for kind of how he approached treating other aspects of nature, that's a thing she would be able to talk about. That's not a thing Allie would know on her own, though. Like, that's because Allie wasn't here when Neva was. But if one of you wants to make that suggestion to her, she
Sure.
can pass.
Let's make
Oh,
that
yeah.
suggestion.
No, especially because that's the line Kiki was going. Like, this is
Yeah.
this is not like a noble, person of nature. And then her secondary thing is, can we redirect them somewhere where they won't displace people?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other mountain ranges, but I might through the slap chat say to Nikki, like, you probably know geography best. Are there places where they can
Oh.
build more mountains where it wouldn't be a problem?
I don't think they should be in this plane at all. Kiki's like, they should not be here at all. Because they'll eventually just keep making they're going to be like a cancer. They'll just keep making mountains.
Yeah, I
There'll be no
thought like
arable land.
extraplanar entities are not supposed to be here because it breaks some kind of law or code or something.
They're
I
not.
mean, Idra would eventually show up and start zapping them. Yes, but
So
we
they're,
have,
they're gonna get destroyed if they stay here anyway. They might as well just leave.
Do I know anything about the Accords?
Make a history check as. So everyone, but probably actually all of you make a history check because Kiki's a scholar and studied a hodgepodge of things.
25. All right.
Dirty
Okay.
Ooh.
Nice.
22.
Finally got something
As
over a
always,
12.
to those
Good for
natural
you,
ones
Allie.
that I
That
roll
was
on
not a
D20s.
perception check.
What is that?
History.
Allie doing a smart thing.
Yeah.
We're all popping off here.
Like
No, we
dirty-
all paid attention.
Yeah.
30-20.
Everyone
Yeah.
That.
through either
1 out of 4 ain't bad.
either through learning it or through some of your families are connected to entities that operate in the astral sea. You know that the Accords are not going to allow this elemental to do this, and eventually, once they start screwing around, someone's going to show up to make them stop. But however, it's going to be probably forcibly.
So,
Interdimensional popo are going to be
Yeah,
coming for that.
basically, someone's going to be like, you
kinda
can
approach
leave, or we'll
Interpol.
make you go. Yeah.
So, well, I'm concerned for two reasons based on what he offered you. One is that he's known to us. He hunted alongside a former companion of this group.
Mhm.
She was a huntress for the Fey Courts, working for the Wilds. She now works for the World Tree. He was.
You say world tree, and this particular rock makes as much as a rock elemental can, makes a kind of groaning, like ugh.
He was removed from the hunt for how he treated nature. We're also concerned because I'm sorry, are you familiar with the Astral Accords?
God rules, yes.
God rules, yes. Their aim is to protect what belongs on each plane and make sure each plane is protected from others. I'm concerned that this druid may have sent you here without warning you that when beings from other planes cause changes on this plane, that breaks the accords and they will be attacked.
The elemental begins to kind of think about this for a few moments. It's more of kind of weighing their options.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki will, while he's thinking, Kiki will suggest maybe using some sort of analogy or metaphor that, like, the druids, what the druid builds crumbles easily or is like sandstone or something, like, like his words are like sandstone. They wash away with the first rain or something. Like, she's like, anyway, she's putting on her spell hat.
Kind of like,
Allie,
Kiki
sorry, yeah.
say that and like translate it line by line.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
And like I said, I mentioned this is my friend Kiki. She is very clever and very wise and translate.
And is Ali's translating? Kiki will also use her universal language to, like, make gestures just to reinforce certain key points, like the crumble, the break. She's going to work to convey that in as natural terms as possible, that, like, the druid's without honor and he just does stuff for his own gain, and that it does not last.
It's not a solid foundation on which to build mountains.
Yeah.
Ooh, appealing to their sense of
Self. And you see the elemental kind of nodding at this, although you do see one that's made of sandstone being like, what the fuck? Like, I'm fine.
Mhm. How are you? No.
Money though.
There is and they nod. Tessa, make me a religion check, please. There is something pulling at you, your divine senses, as you look up and you see figures on the top of the ridge. You see, they feel divine, and they are just sort of up there. They have set up and are waiting to see how this goes.
Do I get a sense that these are kind of like the Interpol? Like
Yeah,
they're
whatever.
like they're
legions-
waiting for these elementals to do something so they can like start the fight and remove them.
Yeah, they're waiting for something to happen because they see that you're down there, and like people are talking to them. They're like, "All right, maybe it's a bunch of druids trying to like handle this, so we're not going to jump in right now because that might go bad. But we will wait to see how this goes."
I will via Slap chat inform the group about these sentinels. Let's call them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say anything just yet.
Okay. Eventually, the largest elementals kind of thinks, goes, I have a proposal for you.
Mm-hmm.
You take Bert. We believe.
Allie will ask the group, any objections to keeping Bert?
Is that gonna be a problem? Like if he uses his magic on this plane?
Bert doesn't
Like, doesn't-
have magic.
Yeah,
Oh,
they don't
I was going to say, is he going to
oh, okay
build
then yeah,
mountains everywhere?
yeah. Let's. I mean,
That's fine, then.
he'll be a friend. We need more
We can-
friends.
Rehabilitate him. Give
I
him
think-
a caring home.
I think he will get along quite well with Tessa's husband. We can take him.
Yeah, we don't want Bert anymore. They say as they.
Why not? Kiki's Kiki's a little bit like wine. Like she again through Allie, she'll just be like,
So,
This-
my kind of base insight is just giving me he's really dumb and we don't feel like putting up with him anymore. Is there something other than that?
He'll tell you. No, they'll tell you like, Bert talks too much.
It'd be great with the geckos.
Kiki just rolls her eyes, but she'll go with the group decision on this.
Yeah.
She still thinks he's like he's not in danger. He's not like an asylum seeker or something. So Kiki's a little bit like he's in violation of the accords, but like whatever. Like she's just
We're open to new friends, and he hasn't technically done anything.
Yeah, if he can't do anything other than just exist, they'll generally
But
let
he's-
that.
And maybe
his
he can help.
presence still breaks the accords. It's like
So
again,
technically
he's not
speaking-
fleeing danger. I think.
Anything that Nikki
Mhm.
does with her Paragon class is in danger of breaking the accords by fucking with magic that much.
Yeah, so like for example, so like Idri would not.
You
give
have a
shit
divine
about-
tank, Randall.
Is he gonna just be like hanging
What's your
out,
point?
not doing all that? It's like if he's not going to disrupt the flow of the world, they're willing to kind of let that go.
Yeah, there's some gray area because like in 2 Paragon levels, I'll turn into a Celestial, but I'll still be able to stay on this plane.
Yeah, Kiki just rolls her eyes. Like she just is like whatever.
Whatever,
We'll
nerds.
say we will keep Bert, but if possible, we'd also like some of that dust.
Well,
Give us that good shit.
You'd have to. Well, I would need a trade for that.
What kind of trade would you be looking for?
And they look back to the rift. We wish to cave in tunnels.
Right away, Kiki asked her Ellie.
No,
Like immediately.
no. Well,
Oh.
that would be better, but we can wait
Doesn't that still break the accords?
potentially.
So, do they
I'm not
mean the
sure
tunnels
we
on the? Sorry,
Well-
do they mean the tunnels on the other side of the rift?
On this side.
No, they want to disclose they want to destroy a tunnel. So like that might actually not be the most, that might not be the worst thing. Like there may come a time when we want a tunnel collapse.
Kiki doesn't want the dust that badly. She's like,
Yeah.
Seems
I-
very
she's like,
risky.
Unfortunately, I
and
think
time consuming. Yeah.
break the accords, and I don't want to risk that for either of us.
especially considering. And Tessa points up to the, the
Yeah, so that now it
dudes off
looks
to the
up
side.
and sees like a lot of them up there, and they just wave. And the elemental just sort of.
Could we offer you a rock from this plane that you might like? Allie offers
Rock in this trying time.
a tummy rock.
Ooh.
It's her low level one.
Right. They will
It's the one
trade.
that lets her do. Yeah.
They will trade for that.
Okay.
So what happens is it asks you to put it because the head comes back down to where it's at level with you.
Yep.
No, and it wants you to put it where it's like an eye would be, like right smack dab in the middle.
Carefully place it.
Yep.
Where
So
an eye
and
would
it
be.
goes and it molds itself around it, and then it asks you you have like a container or something.
I'm sure at least I look over at Kiki. I
Oh
assume
God, please! She's got
Just flasks.
pouches and vials and
Yeah.
jars.
got
Oh my
pouches
God!
and vials aplenty.
Yes,
She's got boxes and bags galore.
So you
yeah.
will then feel.
She's like, she just hands whatever you need.
I feel like she's opening a trench coat. You want to use the
Yeah.
vial?
She starts getting ready to blow glass from like, she'll make a jar.
Buy a container.
So Kiki, the being's hands will come and they'll hover over you, and you'll see the thumb and forefinger start to rub against each other, and a like hourglass level of sand begins to come down into it, whatever container you're holding up. And
She'd probably do it like a pouch. I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's not reactive. Yeah.
Yep, and there's enough for 2 hits basically of this spell, and it seems happy with the bargain, and it then lets out like what sounds like an earthquake, like a very hard rumble as the other elementals kind of look, and then begin to slowly head back into the rift.
And I'm assuming they all proceed except for Bert through the rift.
Yeah, Bert is gone actually as you're looking around. Bert is now just hanging out with Nikki in the love nest.
Wow. Well,
The love nest
Bert's
making him rock hard.
Bert's not wearing pants, I'm assuming.
No.
So, no.
Can I donate some sort of excellentness to Deb for that pun?
I'll give Deb a point of inspiration for that.
Okay.
Yay.
Yeah, but
I
Nikki,
don't have any normal inspiration to give you. I only have inspiration, but I'll advocate on your behalf.
Thank you.
but Nikki is like you're watching everything kind of go down from your odd little sniper perch. Bert,
Yep.
You don't hear Bert move until you hear like Bert accidentally knock over a rock, and you look and there's Bert just kind of like staring at you and waving.
Hey.
It waves.
Bert doesn't.
Anyway, Bert can't
Yeah, Bert
talk.
doesn't talk, right?
Nope. Allie can talk to Bert, but no one else can.
You don't have any
The strong silent type.
communicative ability verbally?
Bert writes in the dirt, like through pretty solid dirt. No.
Yeah. Okay, that's chill. We can work with that.
Mm-hmm.
You must be Bert then.
Bert shakes his head. Yes.
Dope.
Okay.
If you want a pillow, or if the boulder is more to your favor, they should be back around this way in a little bit.
Okay. Bert kind of gives over the pillow and just kind of gums down into the.
Wait, sorry, did he just eat my pillow?
No, he's sitting on it.
Oh, okay.
Actually, he does grab a smaller one and attempts to like shove it in his face.
That's okay. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with those either.
Yeah.
But let me
It's
know
like
if
one of
it's
the small decorative ones
good.
that's way too small to be of any use.
It has tassels.
Yeah.
Get in the way.
Yeah.
Does Nikki send back to Neva any kind of like what happened? I know you've only got 25 words with sending.
Yeah, give me a second. Okay.
Made a friend. His name is Bert.
Yeah, it's just gonna be 25 words talking about like the fine details of Bert's physique. Sending is level 3. We'll burn one of those. Okay.
Abs of stone.
Fuckload, which is one word.
One word.
of elementals here. They're mostly leaving. Allie talked to them. We're bringing one home. How's the vibes?
All right. That's only 18.
Yeah, I was trying to think of anything else to say, but
Neva
You
will
didn't say anything
send
about
back...
Bert.
no, I did. I said bring
Yeah,
him home.
we're bringing one back. Neva will
The friendly
send
one's
back...
name is Bert.
You had enough space for that.
That's perfect.
All right. Did you fight them or convince them? Everyone okay? Question mark. All's well here. Geckos are great. 20 words.
I'm not going to respond because that would cost another spell slot, and hope that Neva can intuit that if I didn't respond, then there's nothing urgent that she needs to know about the situation.
I mean, given that Neva had traveled with you for a while, I assume you guys would have established that as some kind of pattern.
Yeah.
You'd send if it was a problem.
I'll update more later, but like everything is assume generally copacetic responses unless you hear otherwise.
We could probably fly back. It'd be fast. Oh wait, no, Bert can't fly.
How
Bert,
heavy is
can you
Bert?
fly?
How heavy is Bert? That's a carry, Bert?
Bert would probably be about 200 pounds.
You
Is
move
Bert a willing
16
creature?
tons.
Yeah, I mean, Bert's a pretty willing creature.
Bert, how do you feel about flying? You'd be not touching the earth for a little while, but you'd get to go fast, and then you'd touch the earth somewhere else.
Bert is... Yeah, Bert's a loose cannon. He's down.
All right, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Kiki, can I borrow a feather?
Kiki gives you a little bit of a look.
I don't think it's
And then
borrowing.
she-
You're not giving it back.
Take one of
What is
mine
it?
if you
The
want.
spell doesn't consume it. I just have to poke him with it.
It's just a little, like, it's kind of personal. It's just sort of like, she just looks at you and then she reaches up and
Thrax gives
plinks
you
one
the
out of her head.
same look that he gives you when you're reaching for a clearly cursed tome. Like, no.
I cast fly.
She
at
gives,
fourth
she'll
level.
give you one, but like, she's a little bit like,
Mm.
Well, like I was hoping that Kiki had one that was like, like an eyelash that's like mostly falling out.
who has ever asked Nikki for, can I have an eyelash? Well, I don't know.
I was
Wizard
gonna say that
shenanigans.
totally checks out.
Wizard
like,
shit.
Skill component bullshit. I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyways, using my Kiki feather, I cast fly at 4th level on myself and Bert.
Okay. Everyone else's means to fly, so you're good. And there's Pegasi and wings, so you're all very good. You guys notice Bert is like really fucking into this whole. There is other things besides being on ground. And Neva, you're shocked as a sort of dwarf-sized elemental comes rocketing through a wall and like tumbles in the room and sort of stands up.
Just fucking right through the wall, huh?
Right through the wall. And there's like a Looney
Alright.
Tunes-esque hole where Bert came through. It's like perfectly to him.
I see you weren't exaggerating about bringing one back.
Oh, no one else is there. Bert got there first.
First, all right, hold on, let me see.
Yep.
Can Neva speak this?
You would need to speak primordial.
Yeah, I'm trying to check if she speaks primordial. Oh, she just,
Immune with Earth. Does she have?
That would work.
She'll cast tongues.
Okay.
Hello, can I help you?
I have to become heir.
Are you the earth elemental that Nikki was bringing back?
I'm having an existential crisis.
Would you like to sit down?
I am sitting.
Would you like
I'm
to
also
sit down?
standing, Bert says, kind of looking down at himself, noticing he doesn't really have like a leg.
Would you like to be in the dirt outside? Would that help?
Probably.
Neva will kind of lead him out to like a...
He'll take your hand. But he learned from Allie, so he doesn't try to grip the shit out of you.
Okay. Yep, Neva will lead him out to like somewhere where he can touch dirt.
Is there mud? I would like mud.
I am sure that there's...
Literally go touch grass.
Yes. I mean, is there somewhere around here that is muddy currently or not yet?
Yeah, I mean, you get a bucket of water from a well and just kind of slash it on
no,
the
so
ground.
I'll tape water and make him a mud puddle.
Yeah, he just...
I mean, there's a whole, like...
Hot springs?
No, I also meant, like, the lake.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that too.
He just goes
But he
with
wants
like
mud, so he was just going to shape water and make him a mud puddle.
and he just sort of like goes into like a jacuzzi. He's like, okay. And at that point, the other, like, you hear the others coming by, and Tessa, you see one of your buildings is has a burnt hole in it.
Is it like the Kool-Aid Man?
Yeah.
All right.
Is it
Well,
like exactly?
It's
Is it like exactly bird
It's a
shaped?
Looney Tunes
Like,
bird shape, yeah.
One arm up and one
All
down,
right.
and yeah.
I'm
You're gonna have to get that fixed.
Vibes.
I have to get one of the dwarves on that.
When Kiki lands, once Bert's calmed down or whatever, she'll, since he has trouble communicating to most people, she'll ask if he wants her to add like an identifier to him physically, and by that I mean she either paint or do a light chisel of Bert over like where a name tag would be, and then if he wants, she could put like visitor on the back or something, like like security or something, which is visitor, like she'll totally make sure it's okay with him through...
Honored guest.
Yeah, like
Bert-
guest pass.
Bert
like
would
something
like what
that.
Bert wants is, and he will translate through Allie maybe. He wants Bert like where a name tag would be, and on his back to say, "If found, return to the wizard." He doesn't know Nikki's name. He just knows that like he's now bonded to Nikki since that experience, but he kind of
Alright.
vaguely knows what a
Okay.
wizard is.
He feels like you've helped him to like ascend literally for a few minutes at least. Okay, if he's okay with that,
Yeah,
Kiki will use her tools to do like...
Do you want it to say return to the wizard or return to Nikki? Because that's that particular wizard's name.
and Bert like points to Nikki.
Okay.
Maybe
Maybe
go with
make it
Lady
Nikki then.
Darksworn. Or
Yeah.
just Nikki is probably good enough as long as he gets lost in the nub.
Kiki has to like sand out. She has to sand out all these edits in real time. Like she's like, and she like sands out like, no, the wizard. No, make it Nikki. Okay, then it's like, no, Lady Darksworn.
If he goes, he goes down
He's
that.
like, wait, that's so many more characters, you piece of shit. He only has so much space.
It's down to his butt now. Like, his whole back. He's
It's
got like
like
this
the-
like back tattoo.
Tattoo, yeah.
It's the like happy birthday sign, and we're like, look at all this space I have. LADYDOCKS.
Yeah, pretty much. But Kiki will do that, and then she'll ask the geckos to spread the word about Bert
About Bert.
among the community. Just
Yeah, so as that happens, you see that Sumek comes out with a little trumpet, and they head to like a herald's corner, and they put on a big to-do, because they were hanging out with Satara before, and now this is the thing they're doing.
so proud.
Tessa, you have never seen this before. They seem to have come up with this on their own.
You know what? I like it.
Yeah, and you see that Barry kind of pulls out a scroll that's way too long for him. He's like, everybody, that's Bert. Cool. And then he wraps it back up, and they all go about their business.
That reminds me of that scene in the Muppet Christmas Carol with the Christmas speech. It was short. It was dumb. It was obvious. We loved it.
Is he incapable of speech, or is it he just doesn't know?
He can't
Like,
do
'cause he can
common.
vocalize.
So
He
he
can't-
can talk. It's just he doesn't speak your language of common. You would need
Oh.
Allie can talk to him, because Allie can do the language, or if you have tongues or something. But you would need to know primordial to actually communicate with him. But he showed Nikki that he can write.
So Kiki will suggest that Bert is enrolled in the school with like the refugee children and stuff
Yeah.
that we built.
Oh my god.
Like after talking with the instructors and stuff. I mean, Kiki's like the science teacher, but she'll just be like, "Can
Oh my
Bert
God.
learn?" Like we're basically introducing ESL to the Free Peaks. We're
Oh my god,
like,
it's Sesame Street. We need an Ernie.
That's
teaching
just the
English
geckos.
as second language.
I imagine you were like, you try to give him like a little piece, like a chalkboard, the piece of chalk, but he's constantly breaking the chalk as soon as he touches it. Damn it.
That's a reasonable accommodation. We can figure out something.
Can he elemental his own fingers like into chalk with
Ooh,
some sort of
He's
elemental
not that
shenanigans?
magic.
Ah,
Now that's not saying he could
Nick-
not be made into magic, because you could in fact trick out Bert if you wanted to. Carve runes into him.
Kiki will suggest
ooh.
Kiki will suggest a sand table that he could just write in with his finger
Right,
for the
yeah.
meantime.
Or
Yeah,
a
like he
etch a
could
sketch.
He just takes a sandbox with him everywhere, just puts it down. It's
So
I meant for classes, but
a
that's
whole
pretty
ass
funny.
sandbox. Yeah, so Bert over time though is like, oh, you kind of talk to him a little bit. Bert is a little bit smarter than you probably thought originally. He was playing dumb because it was safer to do that with all the bigger elementals, and he does talk a lot when he's able to talk to you. But he was there when the druid was. He was just sort of in the corner, very quiet.
Can you?
Bert's
tell
an
us a bit-
intern that people forget about.
Can you tell us a bit more about what the
Love
what the
Bert.
druid said, or what he wanted, or what he was doing?
He said that there was a horn lady he didn't like, and he wanted to fight her. And then he kept using words to describe other flesh beings, but that were different flesh beings from him in some way. I don't know. And with Allie's insight, he's talking about like the elementals don't really have gender, like per se. So he's probably getting at that. Like you're different somehow, but like Bert doesn't really get
About
it.
women.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah. Bert doesn't. Some elementals shape themselves like the genders because they think it's fun, but like Bert is a fucking rock creature. He's like, I don't really get that. It's all rocks, man.
He describes a horn being with huge tracts of land. Are we talking Tessa? Are we like?
And Bert's like, no, not that one. And he points to
Look
Tessa.
at my basalt shaft.
Yeah, but
Oh,
he
Bert.
has. He said he needed resources for, for attacking and making deals.
For attacking the horned lady?
No, here, this place, and he gestures kind of all around him.
Did he say who else he was making deals with?
Big tree.
The big tree or a big tree?
The big tree.
You be
The world tree?
Big important tree.
Did you see where this tree was? Or did he say where this tree was?
Somewhere in upper sky, upper the sea where gods live. Neva would know that like the tree is literally everywhere. So like,
Yeah.
he doesn't have like there's not a good way for him to explain that, because it does dip into the elemental planes, but not as much as like the astral sea or the mortal plane. But he's like, said he wanted to prove to Tree something, and would find find a way
To prove to the tree that he would be better?
yes, and right. To take things back before flesh beings, and just sort of gestures at most of you, marred planet, and made, told to the bigger one to give back to Earth. And he said they would say displaced people, but Earth was here before anyone.
It was, but this was also a place that was, well, the flesh people are supposed to be on this particular plane, and we're certainly not supposed to be in your particular plane, and I wouldn't go there.
Not
Because it doesn't sound nice, but because that's not my place.
Not how it always was. All used to be one.
Yes.
Druid's an
Anyone other than
eco-fascist.
Big Tree and that he was making deals with? other elementals? Other kinds of beings?
Bert then starts dancing very, like, swoosh, like a little kid might when they're trying to do ballroom dancing but don't know what they're doing. He looks around because you all. Oh, he sort of points to Neva, but like he goes no horns, and he dances very swooshily.
Nuisance.
Are we playing charades?
Sounds like
Bert's searching for the word. He goes, "It like you, no, but not tree, just other."
Nature spirits?
No, not other part of you.
A human?
Fox.
Sort of.
Wait, which
One's Allie or to Neva?
He's talking to Neva.
Neva.
Okay,
Oh.
and Neva is half dryad, half fae. The fae?
Yes. That's word. That's the name.
Did he say a particular kind of them? Spring, summer, fall, winter?
Said he had friends in all.
Neva nods, and he does, unfortunately. Did he want to bring others to this plane?
He nods.
Did he want to bring them to here, or to other places?
All over. And in big waters.
Did he want them there to distract, or for their own purposes?
Reclaim, he said.
Right. So what Allie's trying to figure out is, does he want us chasing them and leaving the temple unguarded, or are those a genuine, serious threat?
Like multiple points of incursion because they're.
I think we need to get the conclave together.
I think we do need to get the conclave together. And
We
Allie
need to get the
really
band back together.
because this sure does sound like a good thing for Sheer to be sending some groups out on.
Do we have any contacts with the Golden Legion among us? Like any way to contact them?
Is Satara still there?
What's up to
That's up to Satara, actually. I don't know how long she would. I don't know what
How long
her
has it been?
performance schedule is. It's
Well,
probably
how long
been,
has it been?
A few days, maybe a week at most.
No, with the hot springs, she would stick around. She's all about spa treatments.
Good hot springs. It's best outside of the crossroads.
Because, like, this is some things where, like, if they're rumbling... First of all, I don't see how the Legion couldn't know. If these many people were... This is a little meta, but just, like, if these many people were being contacted, I don't care how sneaky this shithead thinks he is, the druid, like, it's just... There's going to be chatter and stuff. So anyway, Kiki's suggestion is to, like, check in with the Legion, like, early and often, like, basically, like, this is above our pay grade a little. Not that we say don't get the conclave, but in addition.
Yeah, I think that the countries need to be warned to just at least be on guard for things. But other than that, yeah, I agree. I think we need to bring in the Legion for it.
Okay. Do you want to call an emergency session of the conclave, Tessa? That is something you can do. You are Fred's champion.
Yeah, I think that needs to happen, because if we're aware of the threat and we don't tell anybody, and then something bad happens and they're not prepared, that's on us.
Okay.
Satara will, run it up the flagpole and also ask if Plains or someone maybe not quite at his level wants to attend the conclave for, up to...
Right.
She doesn't usually get involved with that level of... She's like, there's a problem, this thing, she'll convey everything that we know, and then she'll be like, does someone want to represent officially? She can be that person, but she also
Allie
thinks someone
will
will plug in.
also. We're gonna pull some Sheer groups for this. Like, this is the kind of thing that Sheer can help with.
Okay. Satara, just to start with that, they'll tell you that, like, they can't show to that. That's out of their prime. Like, you can go and attend if you want to. Like, they can't stop you.
Okay.
But they can't send
She'll
a
attend
speaker. Yeah.
She'll attend and basically take notes to
Yep.
convey back. Because I'm curious if any of these other people also have heard rumblings and like have there been strange incursions from other dimensions, or was this the start here with the elementals?
Yep. So Tessa, you call together the conclave. What would you like to say to them? Like after another couple of days goes by and everyone assembles.
So I'll get everybody together in the main conference room, and I'll kind of sit at my like podium area, and I'll just outline what we've been dealing with this druid, the attacks, and what his plans are, and that everybody should be prepared if some of these rifts or portals pop up. They might be happening all over the world.
So the general consensus is everyone has been noticing this. And everyone sort of begins to share quick information. Begins to be rumblings about how best to deal with this. What do we do? How do we divide resources, and like who's in? And then it starts to degrade a little bit, Tess, into like who's in charge of this. Do we need like a marshal or something? And it turns into sort of a more heated debate.
Tessa's going to try to diffuse this.
Mm-hmm.
By saying, why don't we allow each individual country to handle their own resources, but still, share tips and tricks and things like that. That way everybody is their own leader, I suppose. And then if one area gets hit in particularly badly, some of the neighboring areas can offer their support.
So the representative from Lasana will speak up saying, what's the point of the conclave then? Because if we're just doing that anyway, that's just the old alliances we used to have.
Well, I'd like to dispatch some of the sheer units to help you. Specifically, we have some that have been training both in kind of mediation, and some that have been training in banishment and extraplanar things coming in here. We'd like to make those available to anyone who'd like to have them. We certainly won't send them into your countries uninvited. But those resources are available to everyone.
Sitara will lean up. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was rolling dice.
Oh.
For a thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know, but I'm always like, Scoot's rolling dice. Like, what happened? Sitara will lean up to Tessa and quietly ask if she can make a suggestion
Sure.
for the conclave. So Sitara will also say, I think the conclave could serve a couple other useful functions in addition to what was just said about Sheer. She suggests setting up lines of communication for alerting. And then she suggests scenario planning where there are a couple of options happen so that we figure out what to do if some major, like, we don't know. But like what happens if there's a large, military force that comes in? What should our response be? What if there's a presence established, but not like immediate military action? Like she'll just go through a couple of things here where like, what if this, so that we're not, so we have the outlines of plans that, to say, okay, if it's military incursion, then what? Like, what does that look like? What if it's everywhere at once? What if it's only in a couple countries? Like, so, it's that whole thing about like plans are useless, but planning is essential kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll suggest that to people.
So it's Sitara's charisma, both magical and natural. Most folks agree to that, but the bickering starts again about who's controlling this, what's going on. The representatives from Lasana, and even the Federation, it's clear to probably Tessa and those of you that have more insight that like there's a part of this which is practical, and a part of this which is, I sort of want the prestige. Like, we want to capture that for later use, right? That we led the way, our faction did blah, 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 blah. It is that until it's actually the representatives from Sib Orr and the matrons go, well, why not the champion? The champion would make sense to be the head of this. And there's a pause as King Rin, who came, Tessa goes, I agree. And he smiles and gives you a wink. And at this point, the Minotaurs, seeing their fellows in the Federation sort of glory hunting, go, we agree. A vote is called. And Tessa's nominated to basically be like, to champion this particular period until this is no longer a threat. If Tessa will accept.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the conclave was for. We're acting as the neutral party, and I'd be happy to step up and help in this endeavor.
A vote is had, and some members, the merfolk from Murtown is not that thing, from Tide's Breach are there. They, like most people, agree there's a few stragglers that need to be sort of looked at for a moment of like, no, we're going to do this. This is not a time for this. But eventually a majority is reached, and Tessa is granted kind of the head of this operation.
She's granted emergency powers.
Yeah.
One closer step. Dictator for life. I'm here for it.
Well, then we have to get started. Since we have everybody here, we might as well start the planning. Satara, could you write down your ideas and something we could all share?
She'll form an impromptu working group with people with military experience.
And Allie, can you get the groups ready to dispatch for Sheer?
Absolutely.
Okay. So this goes on for a little while, a week or so, as you start to kind of make plans to see if they're going to come to fruition or not. But then one night, as you all find yourselves asleep, things happen. Kiki.
Yes.
You find yourself in one of those times where, like, your body forced you to go to sleep, so you're probably just beak down on the table working on something.
Mm-hmm.
Where there is you hear a rattling at the door. And you hear like
at her chamber door.
Yeah. And there's a thud as something slumps against it, and then hits the ground.
Kiki gets her boomstick and goes to investigate.
Outside that, you see what looks to be an elven figure, but they are dead. And they are on the ground. As you see, very odd, like all of their veins are popping up, and they're a sort of a bluish color in their form.
Kiki immediately blasts through the Slapchat bracelets, and emphasizes that it's an elf because of all the things about the Fae possibly being contacted. And Tessa, do you have Speak with Dead and stuff?
I don't. That's a cleric thing.
Oh, cleric, not paladin. Do any of the geckos have anything like that?
Probably.
Or is there a cleric in town?
Somak
probably does.
Yeah, he's a cleric.
All right, so Kiki will basically we go to yellow alert if not red alert, whatever protocols we've set up,
But
so that
Kiki,
the party knows.
But as you look around your hut quick, you notice that this is probably an assassin that was sent to come get you. However, you catch a glimpse of a Kenku kind of scurrying away very quickly from this site.
Kiki, without thinking, just goes, "Mom?"
Thanks, Mom.
The Kenku stops and then continues going.
She's like, no, don't, please, need info.
As you call out, the bird stops, and there's almost as if her muscles are fighting her. She turns around, and she looks like she walks over, but where this is this beautiful, graceful run just becomes this awkward march back to you.
Kiki, so she'll switch to Oren so it's more fluent, and she'll just be like, "Thank you. I assume this is your work." She's trying to be admiring someone for their mastercraft,
me and your father, yes, it's his. She pulls out this wicked-looking dagger that has a mixture of a poison and that Fae's blood on it. So it's a very odd color in the moonlight. But she's like, "Ha ha ha! It's my tools, I guess."
Yeah. I keep thinking about talking to him about a bomb dispersal for poison.
That would be
and she doesn't.
Very useful, actually.
Yeah, yeah, like an area of, and then she brings herself back, and she's like, um, uh, thank you, but like, I also need to know, like, did you see where this person came from? Was there a portal? Like,
They came.
was
They
there?
came
Hmm.
from woods,
Hmm.
from south. I think brazen wine is what that's called. They came from there. Well, they came from south, so I assumed the
Mhm.
woods.
Smart bird.
Once I saw them was watching them, and then I saw them come
Hmm.
to your door, and I panic, and I kill him.
Uh, Not a bad call. So she's like, if there are future incursions like on this small scale, she's like, if you could capture, like, even better for questioning.
Right,
Like,
and you see Kiki like
thank you.
there's as much
Yeah.
as she can be embarrassed because it to her this is there's a part of her which is like I fucked up professionally. I should have absolutely like I should have disabled and then taken this person alive. But then Kiki, you start working it through here like, oh, he was coming for you, and mom
Yeah.
freaked out and just and like
Instinct.
now that you see like the body a little bit more as like the moon comes out, there's a bunch of stabs, probably more than there need to be. Not all. She didn't go like full
Aww.
crazy, but like your mom is probably that level with like one or two slits is probably going to do the job. There's a few more than that, and that was real quiet because all you heard was that body hit your door.
She went full nut without my daughter.
Yeah,
She's like,
fucking bitch. No, and like there's a couple more stabs than there should be.
all right. So he's like 1 second, and then she lets the group know through this, like, an assassin definitely maybe go from yellow to red alert or whatever system we set up. And she says to her mother, like, can you wait here while I like search? She wants to search the body to see if there's any clues or anything that she can
Yeah,
put
give me an
together.
investigation check.
Okay, so I want to use Kiki's new feature
Ah.
as a divination wizard, and I want to use her crit once, or her crit
Okay.
20 that she rolled earlier for this investigation because it's so important.
Portent? Is that what that thing's
Portents. Yep.
Yep.
called? That feature's
So
so
at the
fucking cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, you roll twice, and then you can impose that roll, high or low, depending on pretty much like almost anything. Because basically Kiki foresaw
Nice.
that something was going to
Yep.
happen. So one of them happened to be a crit. So
Yep.
this is like the use of
Yeah, so you see that there is on this person's person is a
Fair, yeah.
there's an emblem of like there's an emblem of the fall court, but it's defiled. It seems like this was their some emblem of whatever court they worked for amongst the Fall Fae, but they've sort of just like gashed it out and wrote over it. And there's that closed eye of Ioun is also on their person. It's not magical. It's just some sort of new like a new heraldry or symbol on them.
Segretti. Yeah, Kiki also conveys that to the group. She assumes people are like on the way, or people are up and staffing on the walls and stuff like that. Like, I'm sure I could guarantee with Locke and everyone else that they've got like procedures in place to like for that. So she'll let people the main team know.
Yep. So before this happens, though, so we're going to bounce around a little bit. Allie,
Okay.
you've gone to bed as usual, and once again, you hear a knocking at your window.
All right. Got a little more capacity for bullshit today, so she will go outside.
There's no one there. You turn around, and there's a person in the room.
Feeling dramatic today?
Yes. Don't worry, they're very asleep. He points down at Kem and Bender, who are like lovingly in each other's arms and just pass the fuck out.
I know Kem would have grabbed a sword already if he were awake.
He's very protective, and that's adorable.
One of the reasons I love him.
Remember that change we talked about?
Yes.
It's on the verge of happening.
Anything more you can tell us about it?
Yes, old things once banished are doing their damnedest to come back.
Including Sigrati?
Sigrati is one of them.
She wants to bring more back?
Mm-hmm.
Is the druid helping with that? Or pursuing his own ends?
Both. I don't know how much the druid thinks he's doing and who he thinks is in charge, certainly. But he is part of her plans.
Oh, I figured.
Mm.
He's seems quite easy to manipulate.
He's a schmuck.
It's almost an insult to schmucks.
I've known some fucking schmucks in my time.
Is... I have a lot of questions and I don't have much time to ask them, and I know that. Can we prevent any of it?
Of course, that's why I'm here. There's one thing you will need. The big one. The huge one with the big horns. She visited a place that belonged to one of my fellows.
Yes.
There's something there that can help you stop this attempt.
Is it that book of how to make celestial weapons? Because she got that already.
No. There's an armament my brother kept.
Okay. How do we get back there?
Good question.
Do you know where it is?
I do.
Can you tell us how to get there then?
Roof of the world.
Okay. The massive frozen wasteland that we never planned to travel to because it was a massive frozen wasteland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you think I was dramatic.
I don't know. One of your brothers currently runs a massive death cult. You've got some making up to do in the drama department.
I'm not even on the world anymore. It's unfair. And, like, he genuinely sounds kind of pissed about that. Like, he might have been the drama queen back in the day, but, like, he's not always on the plane now, so he's like, fuck.
There's one of me.
Used to be the edgelord, now not so much.
Yeah. You have a way to get there. You just don't know it.
I think we know it. Well, I'm not here.
Yeah. And here, this will help.
What does he give her?
He put something on, like, a dresser, and then he steps into the shadows and is gone.
Muddy's on the dresser. Jeez.
It is a coin. It is an old coin.
Okay.
Made of a metal that you would have no idea what this is.
What is on it?
It is flat, and on one side is basically the alpha and omega, like Ryam's version of those.
Okay.
That's all there is to it.
Cool.
Yep. Tessa.
Yeah.
You got a knock on your door.
That's very unusual for this time of night. So I'll put my Fran sweater on and answer the door. Like, hello?
Yep. So you open it up, and there's a large honking Minotaur man kind of standing there.
Do I know this Minotaur?
I don't know. Have you met Plains? Has Tessa met Plains?
Yeah, we were in the whole RP together.
Right. So it's Plains, the warlord of the Golden Legion.
Oh, okay. What are you doing here this late? What's wrong?
Nothing. Well, your bird friend's about to have a problem, but don't worry. Her mother has it. Her mother has it in hand. It's fine. You should be getting a message most likely shortly. But I have to talk to you for a moment.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Come in. So she kind of lets him in, and kind of the first level is like a little dining room area. So she's like, "Do you want anything?"
Oh no, he knocked at your bedroom door.
That's at the other level.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a suite.
Yeah. So he looks in and goes, "How do you sleep with the dog in there?"
What do you mean?
He looks like that corgi takes up a lot of the bed.
Yeah, I know. We deal with it.
Rather well, if
So I want to, things are happening down here, but a decision has been made amongst Celestia and even in the Abyss.
Oh?
Everyone, and I cannot stress how weird this is, everyone has agreed to see how far you folks can take this before any intervention happens. Because obviously, this is not just a matter of the Fae and the mortal plane. This is more things are going on. However, as I once told your parents, I once told your aunt and your uncle, evil's greatest lie is that you are alone, and you won't be.
So let me see if I understand this. You're letting the mortal plane fend for itself against these extraplanar entities?
No. We want to see.
Then I don't.
We want to see how you do, unless they invoke some sort of fucking nonsense. I think the Conclave is strong enough to throw back this incursion from the Fae and Elemental Planes. However, it is possible that some fuckery is going on, and we will, if I'm right, and if I am, Nina owes me money. We won't
Definitely fuckery going on.
right, but we won't let you stand alone.
Okay, good. I would hope so, considering these are kind of your jurisdiction.
I know. But
I actually think Tessa might be a little put off by this because she's thinking about all the potential, like, human lives that are going to be lost because the Golden Legion was like, we're going to see how you do.
Yeah, so he picks up on that. He goes, look, we don't want more damage than there needs to be. But if Segretti is successful, Segretti thinks that you're nothing more than cattle to be harvested. That's what she thinks of mortals. And I understand the irony of that coming from my mouth.
Well, can we at least have something to defend ourselves?
No, you will. And he hands you coins. But they're like challenge tokens from like in the US military.
I don't know what that is.
So it's like a poker chip.
Okay.
And he goes,
They are.
Yeah. You specifically, Champion of Fran, have been granted the ability to call us and others like us when the need arises.
How many are there? How many do I have?
He puts down 10.
Okay, so I had one from before, so now I have 11.
Yep. We will intervene. Now, if something real fucking crazy happens, we'll intervene as we normally do.
And what if I'm not there to notice that, like, what if this happens in Ventos? I'm not going to know that some fuckery happened.
We will.
Are they shit out of luck?
No. We will. We're going to monitor things as we always have. Your group is the experimental group.
Thanks?
We have confidence.
Like, Tessa's just like, I'm glad this is like a fucking experiment for you. That people are going to die.
We don't think they will. Fran has faith in you, as do many others above.
Well, I have faith in me and my friends, and I think that'll get us through it. But thank you for the coins. Is there anything else?
No. And he bows to you and he leaves.
Oh, that was... Oh, Kiki! Shit! I should go see if Kiki's okay.
Yep, and you all get the call for Kiki.
Yeah, Kiki's call comes through about assassin, dead body now. I am okay. Should go on alert in case there are others.
Be a long night. Are you okay?
Yes. Mom helped. She said like, think assassin was dead before hit ground. Actually, pretty sure. Oh, and then she explains the Segretti symbol and the fall court thing, so that everyone's in the know. Everyone else okay? Because she's worried that there was like simultaneous assassination attempts or something. She has no idea.
No, nope. Just a large Minotaur man visiting me.
Friendly?
Yeah, it was just planes.
Hmm.
But we'll have some
And-
help from the Legion should we need it.
Then she'll check in overtly with like both Nikki and Allie, because if they haven't spoken up, she wants to make sure. Otherwise, she'll rush over to where they are. You okay, Nikki, Allie?
Yeah.
Nikki's like rubbing her eyes because she just got up. Like, yeah, everything's fine. I heard a little bit of slap shut noise, but it didn't sound very stressed out. So long night.
Yeah, just an assassin. It's cool.
All good.
Nikki just kind of blinks, but it was handled fine.
What the problem is?
Yes,
Yeah.
assuming only one assassin. Like she's like, go to alert.
Fuck, you're
Tell
right.
Locke. Tell Locke.
Nikki kind of shakes herself awake properly and goes to find Locke.
Oh yeah, Locke is awake and is dragging a body behind her.
Got some more?
You say the word more, Locke's like, ugh. And oddly,
They
Tessa,
never just come in ones.
no, and Locke is just anyone, and do you feel Locke know what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, Tessa, as you're kind of heading towards Kiki, you notice that the geckos have brought you a body.
Strike that, guys. We got another one. Geckos look like he took care of him. Or her. I can't really see. I'm gonna go over investigate.
Yep, same deal, except this one is from the Winter Court.
Same sigils and everything.
Same thing, desecrated, blah, 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 blah.
I'm gonna pass along that info. And to the geckos, I'm like, well, great job, guys. Thank you. I knew I could count on my my best soldiers.
And all of them cheer as Tic Tac and Tola continue to like beat up on the body a little bit, like, yeah, fuck you.
Hey, guys, no, it's good and dead.
Tic comes up to you. Can we have the teeth when you're done with it?
Oh, God.
This
This
is
is where. This is their origin
I
story.
wanna
Oh
know
God.
why you need the teeth?
Reasons.
be honest, I just-
We were gonna put him on the shield to make it look cooler.
Okay. They just look like normal teeth to me. I mean,
Oh.
whatever. I'm not here to judge. But yes, you can have the teeth. As long as you're not concocting some kind of necromancy potion, Phil.
You see Phil like reaching for the teeth and then pulls back, looks down.
Kiki wants to know if any of the traps and stuff she helped the geckos set up around there. Did the person get near the geckos like housing, or would they just
Oh
found them
no,
around?
yeah, like it is. There are 5 different mechanical things. Like this thing's leg is like 2 bear traps in. This like
Gory.
your your mom, like
3 a.m.
for what it's worth, your mom killed that fae before it hit the ground. Tessa's one did not go out as kindly. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is this one's going to be a closed casket. Yours can probably be an open casket.
Yeah, because she tried to go like all Home Alone with the defenses for the geckos area. So
So Tessa, as you look, like this fae's right eye is like an actual like a pool ball is just lodged in there.
Oh, I'm just kind of like looking like I'm gonna throw up a little bit. I'm like, okay, yeah, you can just dispose of that.
Woo!
just picture Kiki collaborating with the geckos on defense mechanisms for
I'm
their.
imagining this like body is mutilated. I'm like, oh, this is I did no.
As they
Am I gonna wake
take
up
the-
soon?
Yeah, right. As they take the body away, I'm just gonna quietly kind of prestidigitate along past them, cleaning up like the
Entrails.
festive colorations that they've put on the floor.
And,
Kiki's giving them each a high five. By the way.
awesome. Good job. So proud. And finally, Allie, as you walk outside, a body just rolls off of a roof and right in front of you.
Bodies hit
I'm
the
immediately in like fighter's crouch. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it's super dead.
okay, I look up.
There are two rogues with a silvery, like, labyrinth pattern on their vestments, just waving at you as they
Look at
once
my
again
heart.
dip into the shadows and are as far as you know gone.
I would like to examine this body.
Okay. Perception or... Well, it depends on what kind of examination you're doing. Are you just doing like a quick overview with a perception, or are you like trying to do like a medical, like how, like what is the cause of death besides just
Well, I don't
copious?
care about the
stamina?
cause of death. I want to know everything I possibly can about what this person is and what they carry.
Investigation, please.
$23.
Same thing. You find a sigil of the Spring Court, again defaced, Segretti, the whole thing. This one though has documents on them.
I would like to look at these documents.
Okay, these documents outline, in very vague terms, that the Druid gentleman has plans to try to find allies on the mortal plane, like to recruit people, as well as to make attacks onto different strongholds that he deemed appropriate.
Does it give us it gives us advance notice of where the attacks are going to come?
No, it's more so in a letter that these assassins are to basically, they didn't think they were going to be able to kill you, but they wanted to hinder you.
Mm-hmm.
And as...
Hinder us from what?
Just debilitate you in some way. Like,
Okay.
hurt you, wound you, take you out of action temporarily. Like, for example, Nikki, you find on yours that Locke dragged in vials of various magically induced poisons and such.
I will identify the thingy,
Yep.
the vials as I hand them to Kiki because these seem like up her alley.
So there are 3 of them. One is functionally all 3 of these are poisons that have been mixed with a spell. And it's a fairly unstable concoction. Like, this will not last long. This will last maybe a day or 2 before it just fizzles out. But one is basically a hold person poison to sort of force a paralysis or paralyzation effect. One is a sort of like a neurotoxin to basically do enfeeblement on you.
Ooh.
And one is
Gnarly.
something that you would realize as you kind of look, you and Kiki look into these things again as the brains of the group, that this is something that was meant to attack more or less your con score to make it lower permanently.
Sort of like weakness. Yeah.
Kiki will ask one of the geckos if they can run and find her father, since he's an expert on poisons, and just see whatever, like, are there countermeasures we should be prepared for in the future, just so we can have antidotes in hand or something like that. So.
Yeah. So your dad will come over and you'll give them to him and he'll be like, oh, fuck. Like, these are very powerful things. And he needs to kind of break it down to see how they made it to better figure out how they're doing this. But he will get to work on that. Like, he will go to
She's like, Dad, poisons are hard. Can you figure this out for me?
Dad.
Dad.
Yeah, he will, and he'll go.
Okay.
He'll basically
Okay.
go with Phil to Phil's lab, quote unquote, and then he'll go. Okay, then
So-
he'll go to the engineer's post where there's actual equipment and start tinkering with
Yeah.
that.
So I have to just say, Kiki's feeling a very warm moment toward her birth parents now, where she's like, wow, just feeling like they kind of got her back, where she had to go so long without any support. So like she doesn't say anything out loud, but just internally she's a little bit like,
Oh.
all right.
A little
So,
bit of
just
warm
log in.
fuzzies, or like, I don't know, fuzzy.
Around death and murder, like it's good.
You know.
The family that slays together stays together.
This is kind of what I picture.
It's true.
Okay, so you all share your relevant information. Is there anything you would like to do?
Get more security, I think. I think we're gonna need to up our security around the temple and the estate.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Kiki will specifically ask Locke, like, can we figure out how they got here? Was it like portals? Did they come through the mountains? Like for her, that's a
Right.
priority because
Yeah. What was?
I don't know what to set up. Like, it's a bit beyond her level of arcane knowledge to like, can we come up with some warning system, like any portal, if it was portals they used, that like some alarm goes off, right? Like or something like
Right.
that. So if we can figure out that, Kiki could collaborate with Nikki or something, but I don't know that that's the case.
Nikki knows somebody who might be able to help with that.
Detecting portal.
Actually, so Allie also knows somebody who could help with that, because Vasana can do that at a limited range, but she works for us.
Are you thinking of the
I know. I
the
think I know who you're talking
teleportation
about.
circle guy?
Nope.
Caesar.
You talking Idri?
I'm thinking someone who's taught Nikki a thing or two about lightning.
Ah, yes. She does specialize in extraplanar incursions and incursions in general.
Yep. So like a couple options. One, Vasana is right here. Vasana is also a Horizon Walker Ranger, and could absolutely help with portal detection type things. It's just that her range is more limited.
Same with Rex.
Idri could help, but Idri is also A, on another plane, and B, doing fairly important work on other planes currently. So she'd know more, but she may not be able to respond.
So
Right.
you do have a method to basically make yourselves a safe zone if you wanted to right now.
We invoke the right of friendship. I don't know. Like,
Close. One of you has an item that will be able to do that.
I mean, I've got a spell that can do that.
Tessa, do you have something from Fran that, like, in case of emergency, break glass or something?
Make an
Not to my
insight.
knowledge.
Make an insight check, Deb.
17.
Big cow man just gave you a bunch.
Oh,
Oh, right,
Oh,
right,
okay.
right.
I guess we could invoke one of the coins to help guard the area.
Okay.
Let's
I can
let's
also
just do
cast-
that then.
We can start with Private Sanctum, get all the people that we care about in a
Is
100
it
foot
how
on a side cube.
100 foot's not going to be enough for all the people in the towns and the farms? The Legion might be able to kind of
Right.
expand it.
Yeah, no, I was thinking like just like immediately anyone who's here. We don't know how many assassins were in this wave, right? While you call on planes.
We
or
can do
whatever
both,
those
yeah.
things do. Yeah.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
Okay. You invoke the coin, and nothing happens at first. Like it's just like it goes.
Long awkward pause.
Did it work? Or...
And there's and out of kind of the ether walks up an otterfolk.
Oh,
Hi,
hello.
what's up?
Hi, my
this
name's
one,
Tessa.
this one walks up and he's wearing a lot of chains. He has a big mohawk, like a big purple mohawk. Hey, I'm Mosh.
Dope.
Are you related to Posh by any chance?
Yeah, he's like it's a lot of greats and then Sun. It's a lot of fucking shit. I don't want to deal with it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know him. Cool dude.
Yeah.
So, you work with the Legion?
Yep. And he shows you he He flashes you a badge, like in the inside. He's wearing a jean jacket with lots of patches on it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I just invoked one of these coins.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the whole area of the free piece needs protection. We've been getting a lot of portals and assassins, and anything you can do to help?
Yep.
I kind of gesture like, well, get at it then.
What are you planning to do? We know?
Well, there's going to be some more eyes around here. I think one of your Miss Monk over there already saw some of what we can do.
Oh, good. Yeah, extra eyes would be great. Thank you.
No, we'll see you. You won't see us.
Okay.
Unless you want us. Do you want to see us? Like,
I mean, you seem pretty nice. If you ever want to come down for like tea or something.
Is this like the penguins from Madagascar? We were never here. Like, it's very dramatic Otterfolk person. Like,
but I understand you have a job to do, so.
No. I mean, like, do you want to know
Can
where
you...
we are, or like, I like a good cup of Pearl Grey myself, but like, you know.
I think I would like to know, just so I know what areas kind of maybe have more coverage than others, and also if you can leave some for questioning.
Yeah. You got like, we have like a limit we can bag, or like, do we need licenses, or?
No. Definitely like take them out before they can cause any damage. But if you can, try to just tie them up or restrain them or something so we can get information. I think that will be pretty valuable for us.
Yeah, no worries. And you see him like pull out of he pulls out a rock and he throws it on the ground. It pops up and hovers, and there's a map of the entirety of the nub with points of light. And like, yep. And he goes, see, we got
magic map.
Yeah. No, we got people kind of anywhere there's like a large grouping of people. We got patrols around here now. We got to keep your, base of operations secure.
Good. Thank you.
Hmm?
Kiki's eyes at this map, they're like, it's so sparkly. Like, it's so precise. Like, you could just see her, like, mesmerized. She's delighted by the map. Like, the security's great and all, the extra security, but, like...
I'm thinking it's like the map from X-Men in Charles Xavier's mind when he's looking for, like, the mutants, and then just, like, pop up as little lights.
Like 3D kind of action. Nice.
So he snaps his claws, and the rock comes back to him, and he puts it back in his pouch. Yep. So yeah, Mosh, I'm like your point of contact, or what you call a How
do I contact you?
Oh, hang on. And you see him pop off one of the spikes, and you see him put his hand into it, and you hear it like it's hollow, and he pulls out another rock and hands it to you and puts the spike back on his head, and it just sticks there.
Okay, and this rock will connect me to you.
Mm-hmm.
Tessa just like taps it a little bit, like it's like a microphone.
There's immediate feedback as he's way too close.
Okay,
Hang on.
do that. Okay, note to self: do not do that. Okay.
Yeah, now when I'm like right next to you.
Well, thank you.
Yep. All right, I gotta go do some stuff. You have any potatoes?
Probably. Down in the kitchen.
Cool. He walks off towards the kitchens.
Okay, that just happened. But sounds like we are have more eyes in the area, but probably couldn't hurt to set up some more traps.
Kiki, like, she's rubbing her hands together with glee. Kiki will also suggest, this will only be good for, like, a visual range, but she'll suggest having signal flares that, like, the people in the town, like...
The free peeps calls
like,
for aid.
Kind of, like... But, like, she knows enough what explosives are. She could do, like, colored smoke and something that makes, like, a popping, like, a very distinct popping noise that, like... If someone's in trouble, like, so in other words, like, cause we can chat among ourselves with the slab chats, but like we need a commissary. So she might
like
even
for the
suggest
farmers and stuff, like just have like a rocket,
right? Like, and she might even suggest two colors, like a yellow and a red, or maybe just keep it simple, like you need help, just fucking pull the thing. It'll still be limited. I don't think we can reach the whole nub, right? But like at least an initial.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll brainstorm with Locke and the rest of the party about what about more long distance stuff for the nub. So kind of following Satara's lead about like communication channels, but like the kind of hyper local. So even if there is this extra security, we just need something in case of it. Could be any kind of emergency, even moving forward. Like it could be like environmental, it could be an attack, it could be medical, just something so that people's like, I need help from the hub.
The nub hub.
The nub hub.
So Mech finally comes down, and you have 4 dead bodies in various states of state. And you found that they each are from one of the 4 fake courts, those seasonal courts.
God damn it.
So Semek kind of looks up and goes, well, okay, when you want to talk to?
Anybody have a preference?
Is Neva here for this?
Neva can be here for this if she'd like.
Spring is the one I'm most. Does Neva recognize the one from the Spring Court?
No.
Okay. Then she doesn't particularly care which one we talk to.
Do we want to roll a d4? Like, I don't really know.
Hold on.
Okay.
1 is winter, 2 is spring, 3 is summer, fall. Is 4. Fall.
Cast it. Body rises up. Yeah, just kind of its head lulls as it locks into Somek, who casts the spell, and Somek's kind of holding up there, and Somek's like, He looks up at Tessa like, "You're on."
Who speaks Elvish?
Do they speak common?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who sent you?
A savior.
Yeah.
Is it a druid?
Remember, you only get so many questions.
Oh,
No,
how many
yeah.
questions do we get?
3 to
I
3.
thought it was 3.
Okay.
3?
How
Three?
did you get here?
Over. Hang on. This is the fall one. Traveling through the woods.
We have
Saint
one more
Grandmother's
question.
house there, bucko.
We have one more question, guys, through the Slap chat. We need to make it
Oh,
a good
5.
one.
You get up to 5.
Sorry.
Up to
Oh,
5.
5.
So you have 3.
No, I just looked. Yeah.
Did you come from a portal?
No.
Neva says it's possible to have been here before. The person who passed through does not need to have been here before.
I guess the last question would then be who cast the spell.
The savior. And lulls back and is dead.
So he's been here.
He has. He
That's
attacked
right.
the conclave. He attacked the conclave before.
Yeah.
So Kiki suggests that we need to immediately start cutting down every tree in the Free Peaks to keep ourselves safe.
Well, no.
He was like, you will not.
So Somek advised you that he can cast that spell again. It's just he has to do it on a different person.
Okay. Rolling again. 2. So that was spring.
Body comes
Does
up.
anybody else want to ask the questions?
Kiki suggests either where is the next attack or what is the next step in the Savior's plan or something like that. Like, let's get future oriented.
Okay. The one of the 5 prongs.
What are the 5 prongs?
They say Narva, the deeps, the roof of the world, the many islands, And the Centaur Gate.
Centaur. Oh,
Thunderblade?
Centaur.
Oh, Centaur.
Yeah,
I
not
heard
Minotaur.
I
Minotaur
heard
in my
it.
head for some reason.
I did too at first. Strangely.
Centaur.
At Centaur, okay.
What's the agenda for these attacks or incursions? Like, what's the objective?
Different for different places.
Okay, that's 3, right?
That's 3.
What's the agenda for the Roof of the World?
Acquiring an artifact.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yep, we gotta get there first. Hooray, cold.
What's
What's his favorite?
what's the agenda for the Deeps?
To finish what the dwarves started.
Oh shit! I don't know that Kiki would know what that is.
Did they
None of you
delve
know
too
what
greedily
that
and
is.
too deep?
None of you know what that is.
Um,
Some of you in meta know what that is, but none of your characters would know what
Yeah,
that
the,
is.
the reason I made that face is because in meta
Yeah.
I know what that is.
Mhm.
I don't.
Yeah, knows. I don't think Robert officially knows.
I don't know.
that was it.
That
right?
was it, and
Yeah.
that one falls. So Simex, he's looking a little tuckered out. He's like, I got one more in me if you need it.
I give him some emergency cookies.
He's eating them. He's like, I got one
Oh.
more if you need.
It's like when you're giving blood, and they
Yeah.
give you like sugar.
Um,
All right, rolling.
so
again.
yeah.
Unless you guys want to pick.
Why is it
Nope,
called
can't do
the
that one.
Firefox?
3. That would be summer.
So my cast.
So definitely we should ask about Narva and the Many Isles and the Centaur Gate. What are the objectives for that? And we have 2 more questions.
So the body comes up.
What is the Savior's objective for Narva?
Enlistment.
Ugh.
It's gross. What is the Savior's objective for the Many Islands?
Confusion.
What is the Savior's objective for the Centaur Gate?
Traversing.
Oh, probably moving.
Mm.
Does anyone have other 2 questions? Because otherwise, I think I do have at least one more, but I don't want to hog our
Want to
last.
ask when that's gonna happen?
When will the soonest action take place? Oh wait, I gotta figure out. Hold on.
Careful how you ask.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They can't lie, but they don't have to tell you anything.
Mm-hmm. Which is the first place that will be attacked or acted on?
What the Savior thinks should be first.
Yeah.
Why do you follow the Savior?
Civilization is corruption. We must return.
Gnarly.
Why can't they just leave us alone? Jeez.
Aren't elves civilized too? I don't understand.
These
They have
are-
cities and shit.
No, they do, but these are Fae. These are from the Fae
Oh.
Wilds. These are not just your run-of-the-mill mortal plane elves.
All right, well, that's it for questions, right?
Yeah,
That
and,
was-
think
and
so.
Somek just at this one, after kind of releasing the spell, just kind of plops down on the ground, all sorts of tuckered out.
Oh, you did good, buddy. Why don't you get some rest? You've earned it.
He just falls asleep on Tessa.
Oh.
We'll give him the day off tomorrow.
I picture Tessa's rocking him, like she's doing the baby jiggle a little bit.
He'll be okay.
But with these kind of cryptic warnings, where we will leave ourselves this week, gaffers, and we'll find out what's going to come of these next week. However, I think as we begin to tip into the 3rd arc, everyone go up a level.
Baby.
And from all of us here at RYAM, we will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.